What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate, as always, each and every single one of you coming by. And today's video, wanted to give you guys an update on some great happenings that really, if you're paying attention to the market, it seems like we are going back up. So, if you're seeing what's really happening right now, it looks like Bitcoin, Ethereum, all the majors are really starting to see a major run-up, which is good. I know these past few months even have just been really a test of all of our patience, just sitting around waiting, which really, honestly, in the long game is the best way to approach things. But really continuing to pay attention to what's going on, obviously, with Russia and the invasion, keeping an eye on how that's shaping regulations. We have actually had some good news with Ripple, XRP, banking regulations, Alliance Block, Quant. So I wanted to share with you guys some interesting things that have happened over the past couple of days as we just look at the overall market here. Bitcoin at 44,000 now. Let's hopefully it will continue to go up. Some folks and analysts that I follow are expecting it to retest maybe a little bit lower again to see if we're going to get rejected here in the mid 40,000 range. We'll see what happens. We'll hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Now, let me share this right here because a big narrative that we're seeing happen right now, obviously here in the financial space, is Swift. We all know what's going on with them getting cut off, but really what's interesting is that they already, the major thing and the implications that we're going to see here economically, Russia is already working on, they already have their own intrabank payment system. They have the SIPs there. So I wanted to bring this up that they really are not going to have as much of a long-term effect. The U.S. is not going to be able to continue to weaponize the U.S. dollar via SWIFT. They'll be able to just go around and use their own system here. Now you see here, Russia actually has an internal replacement for SWIFT. Russia's central bank chief has said. Now you keep in mind some of the stuff you see from other countries, it could be just posturing, political posturing. Last week, in an attempt to deter the Kremlin's invasion, you see here that they got removed from SWIFT, outing Russia from SWIFT. They responded saying that they actually have their own system called the System for Transfer of Financial Messages. Now they had actually been forming a partnership with China's own internal system, but we all know, these other countries are all going to have their own central bank. They're all going to have their own technologies, whether it's a distributed ledger or another type of technology. If anything, though, this is just going to continue to spur the adoption here worldwide, not only here in the U.S. Now, moving on, we have this article: the European Central Bank urges haste on crypto regulation in wake of Russian sanctions. So really, it's obviously terrible what's happening in the Ukraine, but a lot of the Russian people are going to be suffering, not only locally there in Russia, but worldwide because of the actions of their leadership there in power. Now, I find it interesting here to point out that all these other countries in Europe are really using this as an opportunity to push that, get regulations out into the space. So if anything, this conflict is spearheading and really pushing the crypto to more mainstream news, which is, it's good and bad. We can see both sides of the coin here on what's happening. But they're really, the European Parliament, they're trying to push through their markets in crypto assets, the MiCA, and we shared and talked about that here on, we've talked about that before. Now, we're going to continue to pay attention to that. That was Christine Lagarde saying that. Now, also here in the U.S., I found this interesting. The FBI is going to be creating their own virtual asset exploitation unit. So really, this is just, you're seeing more and more legislators talk about it, introduce legislations into Congress. You're going to see more regulators step up, new enforcement bodies that are really coming on to be able to step into the space and take over different things. There's still not a lot of details on what the VAXU units is, but it's essentially they're going to be overseeing virtual assets. So there's also another one. The National Cryptocurrency Enforcement Team is going to be another branch, I suppose, another enforcement body that will be in the crypto space to be paying attention to here in the U.S. Now, moving on, because this is really, like I said, unfortunate for the Russian people with everything that's going on. They're actually going to be seizing 60 trillion rubles from the citizens if sanctions are tightened. So Russian government is essentially saying, hey, if we're not able to get this money, if they block all the funds that are abroad, then the government will have no choice but to seize all the deposits of the population. There's about 60 trillion rubles in order to get out of the situation. So basically the actions of their leadership is going to cause a trickle-down effect, right? Because worldwide, not only are different banks, central banks in Russia, all the different assets being frozen. I think it's estimated that $1 trillion worth or something more than that is the estimate that I saw of Russian assets have been frozen. And so the trickle-down effects is that even Russians living, abroad or in other countries, especially the ones there in their own country, are going to, they're going to suffer a lot for this as well. Now you see this article here, Binance, and you may have seen this, Kraken and Binance ruling out blocking accounts for ordinary Russian crypto users. So really what's happening is that you want to see different Western sanctions are trying to freeze cryptocurrency exchanges that have Russians as customers from being able to not get in there. But you have Kraken releasing, getting involved. Their CEO got involved and saying, we're not going to freeze millions of innocent users' accounts unilaterally. Crypto was meant to provide greater freedom, financial freedom for people across the globe, the exchange representative told Reuters. Now, this is Binance's decision comes after Ukrainian authorities called on a crypto exchange to crack down on Russian users as part of piling pressure on the country following the invasion. So you got that coming after really from both sides. You got the Russian government going to be seizing the rubles of their citizens potentially, and now you have Western sanctions trying to go after cryptocurrency exchanges to prevent regular Russian citizens from even being able to use their crypto and get it out. So it's really if anything, this is just going to push these other countries into developing, like I said, they're just using their own systems, developing own things. Now, in lieu of this, here in the U.S., if you're watching this in the U.S., this is really what's happening in Canada, what's happening over in Russia is really spurring legislators here in the U.S. to really take that seriously, and they've actually introduced legislation that would prevent any federal body or agency from enacting rules that would prevent someone from really being able to use their crypto, which is a step in the right direction. They really want to make sure that independence and privacy above all is something that we are still able to maintain here in the U.S. so that as we develop our own central bank digital currency, which we're going to have to keep up with other countries like Russia and China now going outside of the SWIFT system, if anything, we're going to see that acceleration really pick up. Now, I found this interesting too. Speaking of some Ripple news, Tranglo, you may have already seen this, but Tranglo, which is a huge partner now, they're actually turning on more of the ODL payment corridors. So it's going to have about another 20, 25 of them are going to be going live now. This comes after, and this date here it was incorrect earlier, but now it looks like it's correct. March 1st. Tranglo has enabled Ripple's on-demand liquidity service for all its payment corridors, allowing remittance providers to process instant cross-border payments without costly pre-funding. And leave a comment if you're in the XRP army, if you are excited to be right now where we are. It seems like we're getting so close to the settlement. It's hard to not pay attention to this on a daily basis, especially with what is happening now in the news. This comes after the success of its pilot ODL deployment in September of 2021, with 250,000 transactions worth of $48 million processed in the first 100 days. So they got these ODL corridors already live in markets ranging from like Australia, Japan, the Philippines, and Singapore. Got others coming online. Ripple, though, the leading provider of enterprise blockchain solutions, acquired 40% of Tranglo in 2021. So they're partnered with them up to scale the RippleNet and ODL service, which are really their primary services that they're using to push this and built on the XRP ledger. So you see here the Tranglo Group CEO Jackie Lee said, our remittance partners want to enter markets as fast as possible at the lowest cost. ODL offers just that, and this may be just the solution that the U.S. needs, especially in light of these other major countries, the BRICS nations, etc., leaving and developing their own. All right, these countries like China, like they are playing the long game. They're playing the long game, and they know that they in the long run can win, especially building up their gold reserves, building up their own assets to take over the spot of global dominance there, or as a reserve currency. So it's something that paying attention and seeing technologies like ODL and being able to move this around is very important for the U.S. to really pay attention and get their act together when it comes to moving forward with this. So this is, this could be something that would, could be based on that, something worth paying attention to, especially, like I said, with everything going on right now. Now, also, we see a lot of XRP being moved around right now. 1 billion XRP unlocked by Ripple as anonymous wallets move over 200 million XRP. Now, they normally do routinely move things around, and Ripple has been releasing more of their XRP from escrow. You see right here, they just made a withdrawal of another 1 billion XRP from their escrow following its regular program schedule of releasing 55 billion XRP since 2017, but they're doing this on a schedule, though, to prevent any one particular player or entity from acquiring a just vast sum of it. They really want to make sure that everyone in that the XRP is distributed out in as completely of a decentralized manner as possible. Now you see here, this is actually from Whale Alert. You should definitely follow them on Twitter if you don't follow them, because they're great. They're saying here that Ripple FinTech Heavyweight, they've released it out. And it looks like they're doing this. 200 million are actually going to be added to the circulating amount already. And essentially, just with everything, it's really revealing, especially with the lawsuit going on right now. Now, I wanted to show this as well. This was from the Digital Pound Foundation, tied in with Quant, tied in with Ripple. This presentation was from the 24th. I didn't watch it live, but I saw the replay, and I wanted to play this little clip when Gilbert Verdian of Quant was asked about different interoperability solutions and mainly how to do this in a compliant manner, specifically addressing different countries having their different banks, different central banks having their own DLTs, and why, as we march forward into this heavily regulated space, why it's important to have certain technologies.
Use cases I can talk about is a form of interoperability that we've implemented in Latin America. So this is an interbank network for cross-border across the continent of Latin America, and then connecting Latin America to the US for a payment corridor there. So what we've done is, working with the 12 countries, is allowed every commercial bank to hold their own DLT and have the relationship with their own customers. So all the onboarding, KYC, fraud, risk, etc., the relationship is still held with commercial banks. What we didn't want to do is force every commercial bank to transform and adopt a single type of DLT because they've already got one, or they don't want to, they've invested. And then what we've done is allow that agnostic approach to connect to each other on a settlement layer between the banks as an interbank network, and that's agnostic to the underlying interoperable digital asset on the commercial bank side. So this then settles at the top layer with the CBDC, so with the central bank RTGS system, which is a wholesale CBDC. So this system allows the use of different types of technology, making it interoperable, but it just makes it cross-border from day one. And we've seen this work, which is what we've been doing for the last year, and it's going into production in 2023 in Latin America.
There you go. So that's talking about the LA chain, Latin America chain, partnered with Quant. Quant obviously helping interconnect Quant, Ripple. They're all working together to facilitate this new world order and essentially bring us forward into the new financial system for good and for bad. There's going to be pros, there's going to be cons, of course. I think overall, though, it's something that it's happening. It's happening, so better to pay attention and be positioned on the right side of history. Now, moving on, Alliance Block had some interesting partnership development. I follow Alliance Block because I really feel like they're making some some heavy progress this year. They've actually just partnered with Peak. This is going to power Web3's economy of things through DeFi. And I wanted to bring this out because Peak is the decentralized Web3 network powering the economy of things, and Alliance Block, obviously we know they're an end-to-end decentralized finance solution provider. They partnered up accelerating into Web3. I know that's a hot buzzword lately, but what are they doing? Well, the partnership is going to see Peak utilize Alliance Block's end-to-end decentralized infrastructure in order to enhance the capabilities of the network's economic mechanisms, accelerating the creation of the Web3 machine economy. And now let me just point out, too, when they say Alliance Block's end-to-end decentralized infrastructure, keep in mind the capital market, the decentralized capital market infrastructure partnerships that they're developing on the back end, these are taking time to develop out, and they even acknowledged in their private Telegram group, their CEO was like, hey, you know, one thing that we're going to pay attention to in 2022 is really making sure that we're estimating enough time to get our developments, get our roadmap worked out so that we're delivering realistic time frames, because all this end-to-end stuff takes time to develop out, and they don't want to disappoint us. They don't want to disappoint their other investors. Peak, though, is a purpose-built blockchain network for the economy of things, enabling the secure, fast, and frictionless transfer of value and data between machines and their users. So that is going to be really cool, and potentially, I imagine, tokenizing different aspects of the economy of things. Everything connected, everything can be tokenized, and Alliance Block will have definitely a part to play in that. They've empowered individuals, enterprises, and governments to build, earn, and govern on the network via economy of things decentralized apps. Leveraging Alliance Block's end-to-end DeFi infrastructure is going to support the growth of these apps through unlocking liquidity, scalability, and interoperability on a new scale. The partnership is going to include liquidity and interoperability. They mentioned the liquidity mining as a service that Alliance Block has. And by the way, that service is only going to continue to grow. That's only going to continue to grow, especially as we have different chains coming online. Funding and exchange their funders, which allows for a peer-to-peer funding platform based on reputation and merit. Community development, we see the community continue to develop out. Now, it'll be a partnership that's worth founding. We see here, just kind of wrap that up, their CEO and founder saying that DeFi is going to play a key role in helping the economy of things realize its vision. Alliance Block's integration with Peak provides a plethora of opportunities, showcasing how security, compliance, and user experience can be enhanced through DeFi-enabled financial products on real, future-focused platforms. Peak's tangible use of tokenized financial assets and NFTs illustrates the true potential that the expansion of the economy of things in Web3 presents. And I agree. I feel like it's definitely exciting to pay attention to. But what do you think? What are you most paying attention to right now? Are you excited about the current market right now? Do you think we're going to continue to go up? Do you feel like we're going to kind of just maintain here, correct, retest back down? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget, leave a like on this video. If you made it this far, I appreciate each and every single one of you watching. I wish you the best, and see you on the next video.